Thousands of Sudanese refugees are dwelling in a forest near Ethiopia's border with Sudan after surviving attacks by local militia on United Nations-run refugee camps. The refugees fled in May after gunmen and bandits repeatedly stormed the camps to steal supplies, rape women, and kidnap persons for ransom after terrifying civilians. Of course, joining me to discuss this is Abdelrahim Abayazid. Is actually a Sudanese activist and a member of the Sudanese Initiative Against War, joining from the UK. Thank you for your time. Now, let's start off with this. Sudan, is the world's largest displacement crisis. More than 10 million persons have fled since the struggle of power between the Sudanese armed forces and also the paramilitary rapid support forces. I would just want you to give us, some sort of insight into how dire the situation is.
More than 15 months now, what is happening over there. It's more than 18,000 being killed. This is unofficial figures, but because it is not valid yet, that was the first months of the war. But of course, there are more people who have been killed in this war. There's a lot of this. Plus the people displaced from their homes and from their villages, and they've been chased to leave the country. 70 or between 70 to 85% of the hospitals are out of service. I'm talking about the whole country. Also, education, more than 7 million school-age children are out of schools. Children and women dying from bombarding, plus other causes from dehydration and malnutrition. People flee or displaced flee the country to the neighboring countries like Ethiopia, like Egypt, like Chad, like South Sudan. Unfortunately, they're living in a very bad conditions in camps. The only camps that they have been declared is in Ethiopia, where other people are fleeing that to the forest because they have been attacked by the militias, and also the situation is very, very, very bad. No food over there. People went to hunger strike to leave that food. The remaining for women, for the old people, and for the children. So the situation, and the UN refugee office there in all over the world, they know about it. All the governments know about what it comes. Yes.
Okay, Abdelrahim, now we understand that talking about the militia attacks, about thousands of Sudanese refugees now dwell in a forest near the Ethiopian border with Sudan, after surviving attacks, yes. By this very unfortunate persons. Now, refugees who spoke, of course, to media, outlets or journalists actually did say at least 7,000 persons fled the camps, and 3,000 are still living in the forest, are prone to wild animals and the likes and elements. My question to you is this: do you think, or are you of the opinion that enough has been done to actually nip this issue in the bud from its roots? Particularly with the involvement of international bodies like the United Nations, and the West, and even other, neighboring countries.
Sorry, your voice is not connected, so I could not hear you properly. Can you repeat the question again, please?
Okay, so my question to you is this. Are you of the opinion that enough or a lot has been done to actually address this issue?
And the main addressing, my opinion is, first of all, these are refugees. They are internationally supposed to be recognized refugees. They need help. They need more than what is happening. They need protection. The first thing that Geneva Convention for the refugees is protection. People are fleeing war. But the main thing is to stop this number of people getting higher and higher, and to stop the death is to do more to stop the war itself. To do more to stop the war itself. I mean, like the international community watching now. I mean, like and watching, and this will make it more. It will make it more difficult for them to fulfill the international commitments towards the refugees, toward the Sudanese people, which is they need the protection, they need to be to have their right to live.
But do you think, are you of the opinion that the international community is pretty much distracted? Because we also have what is going on between Russia and Ukraine. We know what is going on at the Gaza Strip between Israel and Hamas. Do you think all of that has sort of stolen the attention of the international community away from Sudan?
This is not an excuse at all, because this is not the first time in the world that wars are going on and refugees are going on scattered all around the world. And to be honest with you, I mean, like this is the UN and the international organizations all around the world. They declared this is a unique and massive displacements happen in the world for the last, I mean, like maybe for decades. This is a huge one. So they know and they are aware, and the figures are there, and the people are dying on the streets, and people are fleeing to the forest to escape killings and to escape the war and the consequences of the war. We have international community whom they are aware of this. There is no excuse in Ukraine. Ukraine population is 43 million. Sudan population is around 49 million. Gaza is the same thing. The people whom they died in 1 month or during the first months of this war is higher than the people died. I mean, like killed in the Palestinian conflict. I mean, like there is no need, or there is no any way of comparison here. They are all human beings, even if we are just 5 people or 1. There is lives here being threatened. There is a country is now going to be swiped of the international out of the international community by what is going on this war. And there is people whom they are seeking. I mean, like Sudanese people are seeking the protection of the UN. Nobody is paying attention because a lot of conflicts here between the countries themselves, between the neighbors, between the international players inside the UN. Our demand is, I mean, like this is need to be end. The refugee refugee situation in Ethiopia or in Tashad or in anywhere around the world.
All right, Abdelrahim, I'm sorry to cut in.
According to the international convention.
All right, Abdelrahim, I'm sorry to, of course, interrupt your line of thought, but let's also look at the impact of this humanitarian crisis, particularly on women and children. Women in particular, because we also understand that many of the victims are actually women who, were subjected to rape, by these assailants. I would like you to speak on that.
On women and girls, the protection risk for women and girls have escalated, marked by kidnapping, abductions, and enforced disappearances. Forced marriage risks are prevalent. Armed groups, notably the RSF, are responsible for the major conflict-related sexual violence incidents. Documented report also describe women being held under condition of sexual slavery. The current conflict is significantly restricting access to life-saving health care, including reproductive and maternal health. The impact of the conflict extends from the physical to the mental health of women as well. Thousands of children have been killed or injured and countless more exposed to grave protection risks, including sexual violence and forced recruitment in the conflict. Nearly 14 million, half of the country's children, require humanitarian assistance, and around more than 900,000 have sought refuge in neighboring countries since the start of the war, and 4.6 million displaced. 1.7 million children under one risk missing critical life-saving vaccination. 3.7 million children are acutely malnourished, including 730,000 with severe acute malnutrition. A generation of children in Sudan will miss out on education. Millions of boys and girls will lack sense of safety and psychosocial well-being. 1.3 million children expected to be born in 2024 shall be short of support for safe delivery. 3.4 million children under 5 are at high risk of malaria, pneumonia,
those are scary statistics that you are reading out.
I did not get from...
Those are really scary statistics that you are reading out. I mean, those are dire statistics that you're reading out. And I mean, it sort of shows a bleak future, I mean, when you look at these numbers that you're reading. But let's also talk about the involvement of Ethiopia in all of this. What is Ethiopia doing to ensure the safety? Because according to some allegations there, it says the government, has long disregarded the safety of refugees, even though the government has said that it's trying its best. However, currently facing serious bottlenecks due to limited resources, which of course has hindered the optimum, provision of services, and safety as required. I would like you to speak on that.
Actually, your voice.
Can you hear me?
The connection is very bad, but I can't.
Okay.
The connection is very bad, but I can really answer your question. What we want from the Ethiopian people and the Ethiopian government.
Yes, that was what I asked. Ethiopia, its efforts in doing what it can to sort of manage the situation. I think we have lost connection there with Abdelrahim. We, of course, are still trying to, connect with him. But I understand that we need to go also. Abdelrahim Abayazid, Sudanese activist and member of the Sudanese Initiative Against War, of course, from the UK. I'd like to say a big thank you. Thank you for joining me, on the program. And also a big thank you to all of my guests who joined in earlier to speak on, of course, women in politics in Nigeria. This is where we drop the curtains at this time. In case you missed out, you can actually follow up on our YouTube platform. That's News Central TV to catch up. You can follow me personally on social media at Dakpo at Digboyi. The opinion of our guest remains theirs and not that of News Central. Bye for now.